Hi. So, some of our problems are really in our heads, literally. And what I mean by that is that our energy literally gets displaced upward, and we start living more fully in our heads than we do in the rest of our bodies. Hi, I'm Fran Gallagher. I'm your guide to relationships, meditation, and intuition. So, the way that I perceive energy is as if I see it with these eyes, only I don't fully have that sight. I think that what happens is I receive information and it gets translated as if I saw it. So for me, I might be working with a client who gets very much in their heads while we're talking, and I will start to see them as if they were more of a head than a body. It's almost as if their head was stuck to an empty mannequin's body. When it first started to happen, I didn't know what was going on. I just thought it was a very peculiar thing, and I tried not to pay too much attention to it and not pay attention to my client. But then one day it dawned on me that it was just a visual representation of the person literally in their heads. Once I realized that, I never perceived it that way again. I just know when it's happening. So our energy can literally get displaced upward. This corresponds with the concept that therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists talk about called dissociation. So for them, for therapists, for psychologists, psychiatrists, it's theoretical. The idea is that we have the sensation or illusion that we have left our bodies. For me, it's not theoretical. I actually have experienced leaving my body. Uh, when I was a teenager, young teenager, I saved up my money to buy a book called How to Have an Out of Body Experience in 30 Days. I started reading the book and I was so disappointed because I always did that. And I realized I had no idea that that was what was the same as an out of body experience. One time that I remember vividly, I had orthodontic work. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And I went to an orthodontic school, and so there were grading periods, and the doctors had to get something done within a grading period. And so this one doctor kept trying to turn a tooth manually, and it was extremely painful. So one time I passed out, one time I broke the arm on the dental chair, and the third time I found myself staring up close at the light fixture. It was one of those fluorescent light fixtures that had those partitions, almost like an old-fashioned ice cube tray, and I was right up against it, this close. Well, when I came back down, the orthodontist, he was gray and he was very, very concerned. Now, I don't know what it looked like from his point of view and why it was so different from when I passed out. From when I passed out, he didn't really care. But whatever he experienced on his end must have frightened him. Maybe it was karma. So, when what I think is that there are gradations of leaving our bodies. We can just get slightly displaced downward. If you've ever known someone who gets really, really stubborn, really grounded to the point where they get super literal, they don't understand jokes, they don't seem to have imagination, those people, their energy is displaced downward. Then there are those of us who prefer to be displaced upward. And we get flighty, we get ungrounded, uncentered, and the more our energy is displaced, the more you're going to see those flighty ways of being that we often describe with blonde jokes. So there are a number of issues that we can have that are actually just variations on a theme that are about not having our energies centered in our bodies. Another way to say this is that we're not present and alive all the way down to our toes. So one of these is the experience of being lost. You can home to your physical body and get centered and grounded so that you don't feel lost anymore. You can do this through your breath, through lifting up on the perineum or the pelvic floor, if you prefer that term, and in on the low belly. And then wiggle your toes and imagine that you can live down into your feet and toes. And that you can be all the way up to the top of your head. Another one of the issues that is simply the result of having your energy displaced upward or downward is imposter syndrome. We will get so much up in our heads that we'll be thinking about what we need to do, but we won't be feeling it. And it will be almost as if someone else did it. That's what imposter syndrome is. So we have to live more fully, be more present, and be physically present. Another issue is not feeling satisfied. Satisfaction is actually a physical body experience. It's not an idea, or rather, the idea won't serve you. It won't be satisfying. The experience of satisfaction can only take place when we are in our bodies. So those are three really common and big problems. Feeling lost, feeling um, like you're an imposter, and feeling like you don't have satisfaction in your life. I want you to take a couple of deep breaths and imagine that you can open the bottoms of your feet the way you would open your palms. Whether or not your feet do anything doesn't matter. Just imagine spreading your feet out and really embracing the ground and allowing earth energy to come up through the bottoms of your feet into your legs, your hips, your pelvis. That earth energy likes to come to the level of a low belt. Then imagine you have an opening at the top of your head, like an infant's fontanelle. Open that opening and open it as wide as the widest part of your head and allow sky or heaven energy in. Earth is the energy of practical action, of being grounded and centered. If you open the top of your head, you can allow heaven or sky energy in. And that's the energy of inspiration, intuition, and creativity. Earth energy, again, likes to come to the level of a low belt. Heaven or sky energy comes, I can't do this when I'm looking in the, because I'm seeing myself reversed. Anyway, heaven or sky energy comes into the level of the third eye, and then it might come down further, but give your body permission to bring it in to the extent that your body wants it, not any kind of an idea based on your thoughts, but just let your body decide. And now you're going to feel balanced between earth and sky. You can also allow your body, give your body permission to balance you always between earth and sky. Okay, now I'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. Stay intentional, stay aware, and stay safe in all things that you do. Thanks for joining me.